If you've ever wondered why your shots feel inconsistent, maybe one drive is perfect, the next one's a big slice, it often comes down to one thing, and that's your grip. The truth is, most golfers never really learn how to hold the club the right way for their swing. So in this video, I've put together my best golf grip lessons. Everything from choosing the right grip style, to the simple change that adds effortless power, to the most common mistakes that most golfers make. By the end of the video, you'll finally understand what a proper grip feels like and how to make it work for you and not against you. So let's dig right in. Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to give you a couple of extremely helpful tips on how to improve your grip so you can hit more consistent shots. The grip is actually one of the most important pieces of the golf swing, so you definitely don't want to miss what I'm about to share. If you don't have a proper grip, you're likely going to struggle with accuracy, with consistency, and even proper club rotation. What I'm about to share are tips that can be used with any of your clubs and with the majority of your shots. So stick with me and let's get right into the content. And if this is your first video, my name is Mario. I'm a scratch golfer and I give you tips, strategies, and techniques on how to improve your golf game. So I think it's important to understand why we're doing this in the first place. You need to understand natural tendencies of your arm rotation to understand how to grip the club properly. You might be asking, like, what do you mean? Well, let me explain. Well, depending on the starting position of your arms and your hands at address, your results can vary greatly. So for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna imagine that you're gripping the club. This is what I see a lot of golfers doing, which means you have somewhat of a strong grip where your right hand is too far on the right side of your club. This isn't a bad grip, but it's just not ideal for a straight shot. Now, let's bring the club back as if we're taking the club away. Now, when I stop the video, notice how the natural tendency of the hand, specifically the top of the hand, is to curl upwards as the arm goes back. Well, when that curl happens, the club face is actually closing on the way back. And when the club face closes, now you're more likely to hit a draw or a hook. You can make the best takeaway of your life, one that you think is perfectly on path and in line and in rhythm with how you want to swing. But the truth is that the laws of physics are kind of working against you at this point. And on the flip side of that, now let's take a look at what happens when your hand is too far over on the top of your club as you start your swing. This would mean that you have a weak grip. So let's bring your hand back along the takeaway and notice how the tendency of the hand in this position is for the bottom of the wrist to expose itself. The bottom of the wrist curls under and up. Well, now the club face is open on the way back. And now your tendency is likely going to be to come through impact with an open face, and you're likely going to either slice or fade the ball. So with these two back swings, I essentially made the same motion backwards, but I found myself in two very different positions. Look at how different these positions are when I compare the two. And all of it is really a direct result of how I started gripping the club from the address position. So here's what I would suggest you do for more consistency. Focus on ensuring that the creases that your thumb and your index fingers make are pointed towards the center of your chest. If they're pointed towards your right shoulder, that works too. Just make sure that they're not pointed outside of your right shoulder. In this position, you won't be too weak or too strong, and it'll allow for a proper club rotation on the way back. One other thing you might want to avoid is gripping the club too much in the palm of your hands, like I have on the screen. That takes away from the ability to manipulate and maneuver the club easily on the way back. I would also focus on making sure that you do the interlock grip. There's a couple of different grip techniques out there, like the interlock and the overlap grip. I've always personally been a big fan of the interlock grip because I think it just gives you a more granular level of control compared to the overlap grip. And lastly, I would suggest that you grab my free PDF that I've attached for you here. It's a 10-step guide called Grip It Like a Pro, and it has step-by-step instructions along with pictures that you can reference at each step along the way on how to grip the club properly with the interlock grip for more consistent results. What I've shared today is really just the first step of many, and there's a lot more to learn and explore around the grip. Hey everyone, have you ever wondered if you're sabotaging your golf swing with the wrong golf grip that could be costing you extra shots, distance, and even accuracy? Most golfers get the golf grip completely wrong, and it's one of the most important pieces of the golf swing. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the very popular 10-finger golf grip, sometimes referred to as the baseball grip. And I'm going to break down and discuss some pros and cons of using this grip type so that you can decide for yourself if it's the right grip type for you. So let's get right into it. As I mentioned, the golf grip is one of the most important elements of the golf swing. Why? Because it's literally the only piece of your body that actually has physical contact with the club. Nothing else actually touches the golf club. Along with your arms, the golf grip is actually what controls the rotation of the golf club. I recently made a video discussing how your starting grip position influences your natural arm and grip rotations. Be sure to check it out to better understand the effect of both what a weak grip and a strong grip has on club rotation. In that same video, I also provided a free 10-step downloadable PDF on how to grip the club. It's called Grip It Like a Pro. I'll provide links to both of those resources down in the comment section if you want to check them out. When it comes to the 10-finger golf grip, there's a few pros and cons that you want to know about so you can make an informed decision on whether or not this is the right grip for you. So let's get right into them. Pro number one, it's really easy for beginners. It doesn't take a lot of thought on how to grip the club this way. And for that reason, it feels more natural for newer and beginner golfers. And especially if you've never even played before, or if you've played a lot of baseball in your day, it's very similar to a baseball grip. Pro number two, it can potentially lead to more power. Many golfers feel like they can generate more club head speed because each and every finger is actually making direct contact with the club. Pro number three, it can be a good option for junior and even senior golfers who might have arthritis, since it reduces a lot of tension and stress on the fingers. And pro number four, it can actually help with the strong release. Some golfers actually swear that it gives them a more powerful and natural release through the impact zone. When your dominant hand is doing most of the work, you can really generate some good club head speed to help with the strong release. Now, while those pros do sound pretty enticing, there are definitely some cons that you should be aware of. So let's talk about those next. But before I go into them, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content that I post to help you play better golf. So, con number one, it can lead to too much wrist action. Since there's not an extremely tight bond and connection between both hands, it's easy for golfers to get really wristy and have excessive wrist movement, which leads to a lack of control and ultimately lots of hooks and slices. And con number two is that it can lead to too strong of a grip. Because your hands aren't tightly connected and woven together, many golfers feel like they have to hold onto the club tighter, which can lead to strong grips and closed club faces. Generally speaking, when you hold the club extremely tight, it can prevent the club from naturally releasing, which can lead to pushes and slices. And con number three, if you look at a professional golfer, you won't find too many tour players with this grip. At the tour level, tour players are looking for very granular levels of control and consistency, and this grip just doesn't do it for them. So, if you want to know my opinion, here it is. I think the 10-finger grip can be a useful grip for very beginner and first-time golfers, and even seniors who might have arthritis. But for the intermediate or advanced golfer, it's not the grip of my choosing. I think the interlock grip, and even the overlap grip for that matter, are far better options to take your game to the next level. In my opinion, it just lacks the precise level of control required to become a very skilled golfer. Either way, I would urge you to try it out and see for yourself. Experiment with it and see what works for you. I'm not saying that you should never use the grip, but I just don't think it puts you in the best possible position to achieve consistent and maximum results. Do you know that 90% of all golfers make huge mistakes when it comes to gripping the golf club? Gripping the club is so easy if you know how to do it right, yet so many golfers get it completely wrong. And it's by far one of the most important elements of a good golf swing. So in today's video, I'm going to share 2 common mistakes that I see golfers making when gripping the golf club. So let's get right into the content. And if this is your first video, welcome. My name is Mario. I'm a scratch golfer, and on this channel, I give you tips, strategies, and techniques on how to improve your golf game. Before we get into the mistakes, I think it's important for you to understand why the grip is so important in the first place. And that's because your grip is the only connection that you have to the golf club. And if it's off, everything in the swing has to compensate. That's why so many swing mistakes actually start with how you're holding the golf club. Having a proper grip controls the club face angle. It helps you square the club at impact, and it helps you rotate the club properly on the way back. It can fix slices, it can fix hooks, even fat shots. So if you can get this grip thing right, you're gonna notice your swing is gonna feel so much smoother. So mistake number 1, and I see this mistake all the time, and that is having too strong of a grip. You might be like, whoa, wait, what's a strong grip even mean? Well, a strong grip grip is when both hands are rotated too far to the right, which can lead to strong hooks or even pushes if the timing isn't perfect. One thing that you need to understand is that how you hold the club right from the starting position, as in like when you address the ball, that starting position has a huge impact on the rest of your swing. And by the way, guys, if you want a free step-by-step guide on how to grip the club properly, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's a completely free 10-step guide with visuals and images on how to properly grip the club. It'll help you tremendously. So let's take a look at what a strong grip actually looks like. If your lead hand is pointed to the ground when you set up to the ball, your grip is too strong. Now compare the image on the left to the image on the right. Notice how the back of the palm is pointed to the ground rather than slightly pointed up. This position will allow for proper club rotation during the backswing. So the next time you're setting up to the ball, take a second and look at the back of your right hand for a right-handed golfer and figure out where it's pointed. Is it at the ground or is it pointed slightly up? And take a look at your left hand as well. How many knuckles can you see when you look down at your left hand? Can you see more than 2 to 3 knuckles? If so, your grip is probably too strong. All right, and mistake number 2. But before I go into it, if you like this video, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content that I release to help you play better golf. So mistake number 2, and I see this one just as often, and that mistake is having too weak of a grip. And if you don't know what a weak grip is when both hands are turned too far to the left, and it often causes slices and a lack of power because the club face quickly rotates open on the way back and tends to stay open through impact. So take a look down at your lead hand the next time that you're playing. Can you see all 4 knuckles? If so, you've got too weak of a grip. You should only be able to see about 2 to 3. So now that you have an understanding of common mistakes, I want to share 2 very common grip styles out there today, starting with the interlock grip. Well, I've got a video that I'll queue up for you here next on exactly that topic that you definitely don't want to miss out on. And as a quick reminder, be sure to grab my 10-step guide on how to properly grip the club. It's called Grip It Like a Pro. There's a link in the description below. So go ahead and grab that. Make sure that you don't leave this video empty-handed.